There we go. So my name is Jordan Paxton. My role, my title is Fandom Relations and Integration Manager. It's a fancy title. It means two different things. It means that I manage the relationship between the Lego group and digital and physical communities. That's it. I'm your point of contact. I'm the person that is just sitting here learning from you. Internally, I represent your voice. I make sure that when there's a meeting that your voice is present. And so that's why I spend a lot of time studying, listening, going to events, going to activities, trying to figure out what's going on in the AFOL world. And the AFOL world is a complex one. There is no single definition of what an AFOL is. There's this huge spectrum of what an AFOL is. I think the key thing, though, that separates an AFOL from a normal adult is the relationship. We have a relationship. You have a relationship with the brand. You have a relationship with the brick. It's emotional. It's illogical at times. It's passionate. It's too passionate at times. It is truly a relationship. We are the Lego brick. The Lego group is like a family member of yours, and we're also like we see you as a family member of ours. I think that's what separates an adult Lego fan from a standard adult consumer. And so we're really happy to be having that relationship with you and be able to support it. But so a lot of times what I'm working on are different ways. Maybe we have a production, we're filming commercials. Maybe we have focus groups. Maybe we have we need insights and knowledge. And I bring you, the fans, into the business in order to support it. So that's my main thing, is taking the fans, bringing them into the business. Today, we're here to talk about the RLUG, RLOC reimagining. We're trying to be really soft with the wording because we don't want to scare people. I think some key things to know right off the bat is this. Let me take a look at the first slide. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and actually start my presentation. I'll share the first slide, and then I can kind of talk through that. Here we go. And I'll present it. And I think, is that working?
Yes, it's working.
Is that working?
I can see. Yeah.
Perfect. So I guess some things to know about this, and I'm going to start on the right-hand side of this slide, is that we are on a journey. Nothing that we will talk about today is finalized. If it is finalized, I will make it very clear that it is finalized, but we are on a journey. We keep saying that we're reimagining the program. And I said that we're trying to be soft with the wording because we don't want to scare people. The new program, this reimagined program, is something where we see a home for everyone. Our budget is not going down. Our budget is going up. So this isn't a way to remove communities. This isn't a way to take away. This is a way to add purpose to our programs. And we'll be talking a lot about that today. But everybody has a place in our new program. Throughout this, what'll probably be an hour and 45-minute session, ask questions. Raise your hand. Don't raise your hand. Ask questions. Share your voice. Raise your voice. Interrupt me. But we want you to be part of this.
Before we get started, if I can interrupt for 1 second, can someone hit
you have to say your name.
All right, Andrew Page. Can we have everyone hit mute who's not speaking, because there is a lot of background noise?
I think there's a way that I can mute everybody, maybe.
You can, but I'm not sure if that permanently does it or not.
I don't know. Hey, Alfie, can you hit the mute everybody button? Or, I don't know, maybe don't mute me. Maybe if you see anybody talking, if you can mute them for me, Alfie, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Tomorrow morning, my time, I am going to upload the two presentations onto the LAN. I'm not doing it tonight because it's already after work hours and I'll be getting out of here to go home. So, but tomorrow morning I will be uploading these. And we would encourage you to share the recording maybe, or maybe the slides. I'll share the slides as well. Sorry, they're not professional looking, but I'll share them. But more importantly, share the vision of this discussion with your community board members. We're not asking you to share it with your community members, but the board members. If you're going to just share the vision, you're welcome to share that with your members. But what we don't need is this presentation being bounced around the world when it is still so new in the reimagining that it's not finalized. And you'll see this presentation is far from being professional. This is something I put together so I can talk you through it. But we do want you talking to your members about this change. We do want you talking to your community board about this change, because what we don't want is when this program does shift or change, that it is not a surprise. Your community should know that we're going on a journey right now. And your community should also know that there is a home for them in this new journey, this new program, this reimagined program. So tomorrow I'll come in and I'll share the presentations, and I'll also share a survey where you and your community can share your voice. We ask that each community fill out the survey once. So work with your board and share your responses in one survey. Today we are going to go over a brief history of the recognition program. We are going to talk about why are we changing the program? Why are we reimagining the program now? We'll talk about the team that's behind the reimagining. We'll be talking about the vision of the reimagined program, and probably what y'all would want me to skip to, but I'm going to take a while to get there, is the support programs and the timeline of the reimagined program. But with that, we'll kick off with this. And this, once you see this graphic, you'll know that this is going to be a really good presentation. We're going to talk about the history of the program. The history of the program is actually, it's important to understand the history of the LEGO group with the adult consumer. So we'll actually back it up to early 2000, maybe 2001. When the RCX brick was launched, we were 100% a kids company. We made products for kids, our consumers were kids, we talked about kids, and that would actually last until about 2015, 2016. But back in 2001, we discovered that there was adults that were doing amazing things with the RCX brick. And a gentleman named Tomo took it about himself to prove that this part of this fandom, this world, should be a consumer, a target audience, just like kids. That was his whole mission, and he would spend the next 20 plus years dedicated to proving that this should be treated just like a child, that they are our fans, they are our consumers, and we need to treat them as such. We need to include them in everything, just like the way that we include children. Up until, so from the early 2000s until about 2014 or 15, we ended up having brand ambassadors. Some of those brand ambassadors would be in this call. And this is where we, as a LEGO group, recognized individuals. We said, you are like a strong voice. You might speak on behalf of others. You know things. You're a brand ambassador is what we would call them. We gave them shirts that said they were brand ambassadors. And after a few years, we ended up changing that. We changed it from this celebration of the individual. And we said, okay, brand ambassadors, we appreciate you, but we're actually going to shift our program, and we're going to start recognizing the communities that you are probably a part of, but the community and not the individual. And the communities we are going to support. So what we ended up doing is shifting all these brand ambassadors to community ambassadors. And we actually changed what an ambassador's role is significantly. It was no longer this one person sharing one person's voice. It was one person that is intended to share the voice of their community. One person who is supposed to represent more than themselves. They're supposed to be coming to us with thoughts, ideas, pain points, not that they experience, but that their community experiences. And we will, this is a major shift, and it's not something that everybody can actually manage. I think that a community ambassador today, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, but a community ambassador today should be somebody with a comms background or a marketing background. Somebody that knows how to get trends, pain, excitement, feelings from their community and share it with us. Not just us, not just me, not just the Lego group, but other communities on the land. So we've seen this change of not recognizing adults. So 2018, we launched 18 plus products. All of a sudden, there was this, we finally said, adults are important to us. We as a company will now start not just subtly working with them, we are going to be celebrating them. And knowing that we used to just celebrate the individuals, and then that we used to give support because we needed to prove that the fandom even existed, that we would flood specific areas with so much support that it is unfathomable, simply because we needed to build clubs in areas where there were not clubs. There are probably people on this call today where we artificially helped you create a club. We said, here's budget, here's sets, here's unreasonable amounts of free product. Get your friends together and build. That's just not how we work today. It's a major shift. But it's also one of the reasons that there are a lot of pain points when it comes to the old support programs and the current support programs, simply because some clubs were artificially created by us by flooding them with support that long-term could never be managed. But we got to 2018, and adults started becoming a key passion point for the Lego group, and we were about to experience some real change. And the real change ended up happening when the land team went through a reorg and an expansion starting in 2022. A lot of people left the team, and we have expanded to more people than have ever been in our department. Just like Alfie on this call is a new member of our team, we are still growing. And Alfie and I were in a meeting earlier today where there's even another new member that's joining our team. We have had a new department formed in the company called Adult Marketing. No longer are we just marketing to kids, we're also marketing to adults. Therefore, there's an entire department called Adult Marketing. They are part of our team now. There's another team called Grown Up Engagement. Didn't exist before. They're now part of our team. Now, what is Grown Up Engagement versus us on AFOL engagement, so to speak? If you think of an adult consumer, there are three different kinds, so to speak. One will be a gift giver, a parent, a family member that buys a product for a kid. maybe buys a product for another adult. That is part of grown-ups. It's an adult buying a product for somebody, for a purpose. There is also the adult that buys a product for themselves, maybe once in their life, maybe twice, maybe once a year, but they don't necessarily have a relationship with us. They don't bleed Lego bricks. They don't know that gray changed colors. They don't know that brown was brittle. They're just a random adult that doesn't have that full love and passion. They like us, but they don't have that relationship with us. And then there's the AFOLs, which are the ones that are on this call today and the ones that we work with. Those are the three different branches that are under grown-up engagement. I hope that makes sense. So in 2022, we started the reorg and the expansion. And from 22 until early 25, we were really focused on revitalizing, building, whatever you want to call it, the fan media program. And for the last 2.5, 3 years, that's what they've done. And the fan media program today is far superior to what it was 4 or 5 years ago. We are to less reporting, or we are to a place where there's less manual reporting. We are to a place where fan media is integrated into campaigns, where fan media days and people are flying out here, where we are paying their budgets, we are paying for their flights, we are providing hotels, we are integrated with fan media as much as possible. At Scarebeck last year, Jose, who's on our team, he's a director on our team. He's on the grown-up engagement team, so that umbrella that takes care of families, lower affinity adults as well, and then AFOLs. He, at Scarebeck Fan Weekend, said, hey, look here. We've worked on rebuilding the fan media program for the last couple of years, and now we are going to focus on Lego user groups and Lego online communities. So pretty much said there was no way we could have rebuilt all three programs at once. It's just too much work. The great news is we're now going to focus our efforts on doing this. And that's what this is now. Throughout 2025, we've had a team that has been working on this. And likely for the next 2 to 3 years, we are still going to be building up and fleshing out the revitalized program for communities. And eventually we'll get to the bear with the rainbow and the pot of gold, or the star at the end of the tunnel. The team behind the Reimagining, we have Jose, who's the director from Grown Up Engagement. We have Pella, who is from Adult Marketing. We have myself, who's from Community Management and Moderation. We have Allison S., who is in Grown Up Engagement, who is helping us build the program. We have Michael P., who is our tech guy. He owns the relationship with the platform. He makes sure that that the new revitalized program that we're building, that the tool has the necessary structure for success. We also have representatives from RLUG, online communities, and AFOL networking events that have been supporting us through the year on ideating this new program, rejecting some stuff, challenging us on other things, and really helping us evolve and target, pinpoint kind of what we want to do and what is going to be the most valuable to the recognized community. We also have Alfie and a whole bunch of other people that are here whose voices and their work all help us build the new program. So what could the program look like? Forgive the terrible graphics, but this is just some key things that we know need to be in the new program. We know that there will be a website, probably something like the LAN, probably different in some ways. We're still figuring that one out. But we do know that the brick on the map, well, a lot of communities, we've done surveys, we've talked about it, We know that this map does not necessarily get you new members. It is not a big driver to your events. We've heard that feedback. But we will have a map. It is important to us. It is a way that we can say, here are the communities within our program. Here are communities that we say you should join, communities that we say you should go to their events. We know that this needs to be something within the program. We also know that there's community profile page. Here I featured AFALS of Middle East. I don't know if they're on the call. A little shout out to them. But we do know that there needs to be community pages. And I'm not saying that their community page is perfect. I would say it's not. But we need to come up with a template, come up with a guide on how to create a community page that is professional, that is storytelling, that supports you. We believe that every community page should touch on 3 things. Why should I join your club? Why should I visit your events? And why should I collaborate with you? And that could be a local business, a local community member, like some mom or dad. But it could also be another LUG. Why should another LUG partner with you, reach out to you, connect with you? So why to be a member, why to visit your events, and why to collaborate with you. We also know that there needs to be a forum. So we're going down. The forum, it is a rudimentary tool, but the LAN is intended to be a tool to support and enrich your community. Now, like I said earlier, there's some clubs that truly have amazing community ambassadors. And that's a gift. If you have a community ambassador that can use the LAN to enrich your club, you got the perfect ambassador. Somebody that can come to the platform and say, we had an issue. Here's what that issue was. Has anybody experienced this? Please help. Or another person that can come and say, here's what we achieved. Here's what we learned. Here's what we can do. Here's what you can do. It's the ability to say, we received a fine from the government. We, for doing an online competition without some kind of gambling tax law violation that we didn't know we were committing. We just thought we were raffling off a Lego set. Here's the learnings that we had that maybe can also help your community. So community ambassador, having somebody that has that marketing or that communications background or skill is extremely important to getting the most out of the LAN as possible, or the tool as possible. It's the person that has the ability to turn on that filter, that sees a really hard conversation, really emotional conversation on the LAN, can digest that and bring the learnings to their club. Or the exact opposite, can be in one of your community meetings where there's something really emotional that's happening and can digest it. Come to the LAN and put that in terminology that is acceptable, that is globally friendly, and can share a concern or a thought or a learning. So we know that that forum is going to be something that is still part of whatever the new iteration version of this Reimagine program is. When I joined the team in 2018, we had something called Academy, and we had something called work groups. We're moving into the middle now with a really terrible picture of, I don't know, Encyclopedia Britannica or something. We know that there needs to be enhanced tools to support your communities, that you don't need to recreate the wheel, that the first time you do something charity-based, there's a guide that when you do a new kind of activity, a new kind of charity activity, that you can add it to that guide, that when you have a member issue, and you're trying to figure out how to resolve that there's support, that there's guidance, that there is experience that other people have added. Our goal is to have an internal and an external wiki of sorts. The external wiki would be how to get recognition. What does a recognized community mean? What does a recognized community have to do? How do you build a LUG? How do you build an online community? Internal wiki would have more of those program relevant articles. How to write a brief, how to get support, how to be successful with support, what to do with support when you have it. Yeah, things like that. Moving down to I think her name is Gail, the construction worker. Second. The new program, we are very aware that the new program will require more manual work on your side. Right, and you'll see that with our support programs, and I'll show those to you in a few moments, but every support program in the future is application based. Think so. Each one will require an application of sorts, and some of them will require thorough applications. Briefs, in fact, that your community will need to write in order to even qualify for support. And it doesn't mean that you're guaranteed support. It is putting your hat in the ring to qualify, to vie for support. So we do know that the new program will have more of that. Some of the people that are in this call will be familiar because prior to 2018, this was the process. You had to apply. You had to say, we're doing an event, we need support, here's what we need. And each one of those applications would be reviewed. We were getting too many applications, and what we didn't have back then was a team to review them. So we had to find a new path forward. And the new path forward was stop sending us your applications. We're just going to standardize support. And we are reverting back to pre-2018 because we now have the team in place and the resources in place to go back to a support-based application process. A lot of times you hear about the good old days and how they were better. The good old days are back. So, look at the robot. Now we're up to the robot in the top corner. Our goal with the new program is to automate reporting as much as possible. We are already doing this with fan media. With physical events, it is infinitely more challenging. But it is something that we have the ambition of doing. And with our, like I mentioned earlier, the team that was responsible for this reimagination, I said there's some LUGs, online communities, and A&Es that are helping us throughout this journey. They will be piloting a new feature, hopefully in October, where we will be getting automated tracking from them. And we'll probably have to test a few different ways of doing this. But the one thing that we do know is that manually entering numbers for everything isn't working. And it's not your fault, and it's not, heck, it's probably our fault. But there's no easy way to do it. How do you count people? How do people globally count numbers the exact same way? We need to find a way that we can help with that. We also, with automated reporting, it creates reports that are digestible by our stakeholders, digestible by the people that fund our program. And if we can provide them with standardized reporting, the same way that media agencies or event organizers provide them with reporting, then that will help us funding the future of our program. And then the bottom right, we have those beautiful cardboard boxes with a target symbol. That was a lazy way of me saying that our goal with our new support programs is targeted and purposeful support. Right now, we've been doing support. We're about to talk about the new support programs. And I think it's really important for you to remember that you have hated some of our support programs for a number of years. I think it's important that we talk about that we're honest with ourselves, that our support programs have not been the best. Every time we process more juniors, 4+ Duplo and unwanted classic sets to you, can't pretend that that's something that you want or something that enriches your community. That alone says we should do something about these support programs. We need to find a way to make them targeted and purposeful and stop sending you.
Ja, ich komme gleich.
Stop sending you things that don't support your club. All right, I've talked a lot. I'm going to talk one more time, and then we'll get to support.
I have to say, in our club, I agree with you. Hear me?
Yes. Can you say your name and then you can talk?
Sorry, I'm Stefan from the previous ambassador from Balbrick. Now I'm still the president,
yes.
but my colleague, the ambassador, had to go to the doctor, so he asked me if I could be here today. So
Perfect.
the thing is, what you're saying is, a lot of community members during the years, they said they were not motivated to participate in some kind of activities when they receive that kind of sets. So I think if it changes, it can improve the working, and at least in our community, I think there are members that they participate more if they get something that they like, not the Duplo set, but maybe a Marvel set they can collect. So I totally agree with what you've just said.
You might agree now, but based on what you said, you're probably going to disagree with me in a moment, because my goal is not to send them a Marvel set either. So we'll get to that one in a second.
Okay.
Before I talk about this slide, is there any other questions? Like I said, we're about 2 minutes away from actually seeing what the new support programs could look like.
If I can, a quick question about the access to the new
Can you
forum.
say your can you say
I'm,
your name?
Yeah, Neve from RLUG. I lead the group. So right now, only the ambassadors have access to LAN, which kind of limit our ability to interact with the group in other communities. Is that something that's planned to be changing?
That's an interesting one. No. We've received it's a good question. There's different communities that have every community. The goal of every community is for us to change the LAN into the platform they want for their purpose. So some are like, we want 2 people on the LAN. Others are like, we want a section on the LAN that's just for our club members. And it's like, well, but there is no alignment on what people want. And that makes it hard. The LAN for us is a tool that we hope a community is able to leverage to support them. And it is sad, disappointing when you find out that there is a gap, that community ambassador is gatekeeping data. They're gatekeeping relationships. They're gatekeeping knowledge. They're gatekeeping everything. That is heartbreaking when we find that, because there's that entire community that is not benefiting or enriched from the recognition.
Yeah, so I was asking it in a more positive kind of way, or more to alleviate the workload that the single person, the ambassador, has to do in terms of our commitment or our responsibilities to the LEGO group.
Nice. But that also comes with other challenges on our side. Do we need all 800 members of Brickish on the LAN? So trying to figure out what the appropriate way to do this is extremely hard. And we have not been able to find a way that we can do more than one point of contact per community yet. It is tough though. You're right. It would be nice to solve this. We're open to ideas on how to solve this, but it needs to be solved in a way that works for all communities, or maybe the majority of communities, but it also doesn't create additional issues. All right.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. It's not an easy one. I understand that one, because there's times where I wish that I could say, I wish this club would change their point of contact, simply because I feel that there's a gap. But then there's also just amazing ambassadors, and probably quite a few of them are on this call right now. So, all right. Now, our program, for people that are not aware, we are under the marketing department. I don't know if people knew that, but that is who funds us, is the marketing division. The way that we get funded is by ensuring that the marketing team sees value, sees a mutually beneficial relationship between us, the brand, and you, the fandom. And the way that we have found that we can succeed here is by realizing that how the fandom can support the LEGO brand framework. The mission that the LEGO Group has is to inspire and develop the builders of tomorrow. Our new programs are going to be rewarding the communities that help us inspire and develop the builders of tomorrow. Now, Stefan earlier said, well, hey, get rid of those Duplo sets and let's hook us up with some Star Wars or some Marvel sets. I personally like that as well. But that is enriching and the individual and not enriching the builders of tomorrow. So we'll talk about that a little bit more over the next slide. That actually goes over the new support programs. I'm going to change to the next slide. I'm going to take a 1 to 2 minute break that will allow you to read that slide. After that, I will then present the slide. The reason I'm doing this is because if I were to change to the slide and start presenting, you'd spend the whole time reading. And I want to make sure that you have the time to read first, and then we'll talk. So I'm going to stop talking, and here are the potential reimagined support programs. All right. I didn't start a timer or even look at a clock, but I'm just going to assume that that's 1 to 2 minutes. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about the future support programs. We know that individual brick support is extremely important. We believe that individual brick support is extremely important to the recognized communities. It's currently known as LUG bulk. And in 2026, it will be relatively identical to how it was in 2025. Good news, we're not changing it. The reason that we're not changing it is because it requires energy that we don't currently have to review the program. So in 2026, we will investigate opportunities for 2027. That might mean that in 2027, we continue with LUG bulk as is. It could also mean that it shifts. The good news is that in our future reimagined program, individual brick support is there, period. It will be included. Now, you might tell me that you love LUG bulk, but I could challenge you on that right now and prove you don't, that it could be better. Right now, you're a club of X number of members, and you are forced to share 85 elements. Imagine if you weren't forced to share 85 elements. Imagine if each person got 85 elements. Imagine it didn't take a year. Imagine you could do it twice a year. I don't know. But we need to look into this program. We need to give it the energy to properly investigate what a individual brick support program could be. And maybe in 27, it is exactly as it is today. Maybe it is. I don't know. But maybe it's not. Does anybody have any questions about individual brick support or thoughts?
Good evening, Jordan.
Hello.
I'm George from Greece, the Brick GR.
Hey, George. Yeah.
We are quite a small group that is still growing, and we have issues sometimes reaching the bottom margin, let's say, of the lag support, the lag bulk.
Yeah.
So one proposal is maybe to lower it. I know it's challenging for the Lego group and the team that handles the lag bulk, but it might give more opportunities to smaller groups like us.
Perfect. You're right.
That's
And
a
that is
thought.
why we need to investigate.
Yeah.
So like I can tell you right now that it won't change for 26.
Yeah.
But you're right. That is something that maybe we can change for 27.
That's true.
You're exactly right.
Thank you.
This is
Yeah.
Dave, NILTC. I would love to imagine the individual limits being increased. It is a yearly request in our club.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. I posted on the land. A lot of people that have, people have agreed.
No, everybody will agree. Yep. I don't know if that will be increased, and I know there's all different kinds of reasons as to why it should be increased. Right now, we also know that LUG bulk has a high rate of behavior that is outside of program. Again, we can call it fraud, you can call it whatever you want, but we are all likely very aware of the abuses to the LUG bulk program that currently exist. And we need to find a way that we can do LUG bulk in a way that we can talk about proudly, that we don't talk about with an asterisk, that we don't whisper about. Because right now we do know that there are bad apples, and we need a way to fix that. And I would encourage you with Lug Bulk launching in a few days that if you are a bad apple, if your club is talking about an asterisk, why don't we just do this? Why don't I take the remaining budget that you have and I'll use that for myself? Why don't we place 2 orders for the club? Why don't we add our kids to this? Why don't we add our family members to this? Why don't we exaggerate our numbers? Why don't we do this? It needs to stop. It is, I would say, individual brick support is the program that has the highest likelihood of being shut down due to fraud, due to the risk that it brings to the community, or the program overall. And I would call on everybody that's in this room to say, we cannot be that asterisk. We cannot try and skirt the rules. We need to do it right. All right, community projects. Moving on to that one. Currently known as project support. This is, for me, for our team, the heart and soul of the LAN program. You might say that Lug Bulk is for you, but Lug Bulk is for the individual to build. It's for the individual to do something. And that is not the purpose of the LAN. That is not why you are a member of a recognized club. It's not why you're a member of a LUG at all. The reason that you are a member of the LUG is to be part of something bigger. And community projects is that something bigger. It's the ability to say that as myself, I cannot do this, but as a team, we can. That is a beautiful thing. And we want to support that. We want to ensure that there's the way that people can do the impossible. Now, prior to 2023, I was not involved in project support, and every application was approved unless it was IP based. Over the last 2 years, I have been involved, along with Pella being involved, and we have brought new guidelines and expectations to project support. I will expect that there could be tweaks to 2026 project support, but the similar type of tweaks that we've made the last couple of years. Project support is intended to bring people together to do the impossible. We have allowed some projects to make it through there that don't necessarily do that. Something like Mills plates. At the end of the day, no person, no family, no kid is going to walk through your exhibit, see Mills plates, and go, wow, this is amazing. I think that is something that is likely to change. I think we are going to continue to see that certain invisible projects will not be possible through the community projects. These are supposed to be wow moments. These are supposed to be things that inspire your local community, that inspire families, kids, other adults through magnificent builds. And while we recognize how important Mills can be, it is an invisible project, so to speak. So there could be some of those changes planned, or sorry, there could be some of those changes that will go into effect, but nothing large scale at this point. No overarching, any huge changes. I do agree that it would be nice to lower the minimum. I agree with that. I'm sold on that. I would especially lower it to something, I don't know, I think right now it's 75,000. Maybe it's 50,000. Nobody wants to talk?
I believe it was 100,000 this last time.
Okay, thank you. So
project support was 100,000, but then it was re-lowered back to 70 to match the previous year. So that's where there's been confusion, and the upper limits changed
John,
from 300
is that you, buddy?
and bounced around. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I should have announced it. It's me indeed.
Hey, buddy. All right. Well, no, you're right though. So you're right. We did go up to 100,000 and we did lower. That's what it was. I would love to see that be lowered more, but we need to make sure that we don't overload warehouses and we don't overload production. So that is the issue that we have. And I am very interested in seeing, can we find a way to do smaller, more purposeful orders? So there's the ambition, but again, no big changes in 26. Any questions about community projects before we move on to the next one?
I have a
Yes.
question.
Cool. Name and go for it.
This is John Doherty with DFW RLUG in Texas. We have currently 3 community projects that were approved and have submitted our order. It was very difficult to try to narrow that down with 3 different projects that all have pretty large scope. So yes, maximums can be reached. And so if there's, you talked about individual brick support might end up being expanded in a way that would, be more than 85 elements, for example. Perhaps if a project is proposed, maybe it's a limit by project versus a limit for an application, because we have 3 projects on our application. So our 3 projects have to be limited to the 300,000 versus if someone else had applied and only put 1 project on their application, they get that 1 project with all the support.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Need from RLUG. Another question about the timelines that we were allowed on the community project. This has been the blocker for us in past years. The requirement to complete and display in a set amount of time after the arrival and all of those, they just don't coincide with events that we can produce in terms of public holidays and things like that. So will that be revisited as well?
I think right now it's 14 months. Is that, I don't know what number you're using. Are you using 14 months?
No, I recall there was a smaller time frame for display. I might be remembering wrong.
So right now, I guess the only real rule we have is that in order to participate in 2026 project support, your 2024 project support should be used. And your 2025 project support should be planned. Because 2026 project support would be used by end of 27.
Jordan, I was just going to say, it might be that we've had an issue with this before. So one of our big shows is February. If we put in our project support request in August, we are guaranteed that we will get it by the end of the year. By the time we get the parts and distribute them, that doesn't then give enough time to build whatever amazing thing it is for February, which means we're then pushing on to the February the following year.
1 year.
But that is actually 18 months from the August order date. So potentially that's where the timing is. If we're doing a show at the end of the year, it's no problem because it's within a year. It's fine. So I think maybe that's the challenge.
That makes sense. Hey, I'm all about. I don't like this. Goodness, this 18-month stuff is crazy. This you have to order. You have to guess what you're going to need a year in advance. Like, come on. Like, there's all kinds of ways that we can fix lug bulk and project support. We've got to spend the time and energy on doing it. So, but No huge changes yet. Cool. Ready to move on to the next one? All
Jordan,
right.
if I may, Vili
Who is
from South African Lego
Oh.
User Group.
Hey, buddy.
Shifting nervously, but enjoying it so far. I love what John said about the per project and not per application, because in our club we would kind of give the castle guys, their chance, and then, as to the second point, rush, and hope that we get sign off in time to say to the next guys, you're in, and that would be cool. I want to put a counterpoint to your Mills argument, because although no child will necessarily say, "Ooh, wow, Mills," it is the cornerstone that makes builds like this or New Hashima or whatever structural thing you do possible outside of your own Lego workshop. So, Mills, I believe that forming part of a project support application, kind of shows where the project will be going and shows that there was thought that went into how the bricks will be used, more than just, well, we'll figure it out when we get it, in a time in the future. That's it.
Okay. I do appreciate your feedback. It is something that I did approve a few mills this year. It is expected that in the future there will be requirements for featuring project support on your socials using specific hashtags. That'll be a pilot that we're testing this year. And that doesn't happen with it's all about a business case. It's about giving marketing the resources, the tools to say, this is an amazing program. We need to continue to fund it. We are getting so much mutual beneficial data and experience and stories and storytelling out of these experiences that we need more. That's our goal, is that we sell them on the data in order to continue to support our programs. That we go, hey, here's what our budget was in 24. Here is what we got for you. Here is what we featured on social. Here is the number of kids that we reached. Here's the number of families that came to AFAL events. Here's the number of whatever. And they go, mind blown. 10% budget increase is what you're asking? Approved. Have fun in 25. That's what we want. That's what you want. Is for those types of successes. In certain projects, we will continue to ideate as to whether or not they will be allowed or included. I think the ones that I approved this year we're doing a really large project, X, Y, and Z. P.S. We need some Mills elements approved. But I cannot imagine getting an application that says we need Mills elements and going approved. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All right. Let's get on to the good ones, everybody. These are the new ones. These are what we want to talk about. Marketing aligned support. We're now in the middle. The pink, purple. No, that's a pink one. Marketing aligned support is something that we piloted this year. We'll be enhancing it in 26 with the goal of standardizing it by 27. Pella right now, his role is to go to marketing. He's in adult marketing. So he goes to the product groups and goes, you're doing something F1 in 2025? How would you like to do something F1 at AFAL-driven events around the world? Oh, you'd like that. Give us the funding, we'll make it happen. Oh, Ninjago, you're coming out with some new pull ninja spinner thingy. You want You want that to be in the hands of kids around the world? You want the AFOLs to be able to support that? Approved. Imagine that moving forward, when we're doing a campaign and a kid walks into a Lego store and they see an F1 campaign, and they walk into your event and they see an F1 campaign. It's a beautiful thing. There's alignment. There is this overarching, this connected ecosystem. With the F1 campaigns, we gave them the products, the bricks that they needed to run F1 activities at their events that we hope they will use for that event, plus other events from now until whenever. We gave them tokens of appreciation for their members, saying, thank you for supporting this initiative. Here's a token of appreciation for your support. We gave them marketing material that they could use on their socials. This will allow selected communities to be in line with the Lego Group's campaigns and have one ecosystem.
Jordan, Stefan here from Baslik again.
Go for it. Hey.
And this is something has happened during all the years since we are recognized Lego user group. That means since 2017 or 2018. I have to say our relationship with Lego, we are in Spain, for those who don't know it. Our relationship with Lego Iberia has improved, but the thing is, communication goes very, very slowly. So I want to know if this goes directly through the LAN with Denmark, or this also will change the working program with our local or national Lego offices, because sometimes I send an email and I get an answer 3 months later.
Yep.
3 months.
Great question. Nope, you're fine. Great question. This is a global program, not a local program.
So we forget the things we do with them.
No, you can. I hope you don't forget. I hope you celebrate and get support and do stuff with your local market. But this is a global program that we're talking about. So
Okay,
anything
great.
on a local program is a local program.
Maybe
Thanks.
Hi, Vincent Caled from Austria. I just want to size also the fact, as previously mentioned, we need also some time to react. Even if it is local or global project, whatever, we need also to get information, and we cannot clearly act so quickly as marketing. I mean, we know to at least half a year to prepare an exhibit, to prepare the places and so on, to set all the set and so on. So what I mean, maybe I'm not really sure if we can react so much or so quickly as marketing would like to have from us.
Yeah,
so
I can answer that. The clubs that can will be the ones that get support.
Stefan again. So you can say, if it's also possible, we say, okay, we offer an open day in because we have a local in our club, where usually it's only designated to the LUG members. We make an open event to all the kids that want to come from our city to show the new thing that has Ninjago, for example. That's something we can organize with 2 weeks in advance.
If you want to do that, you're welcome to. The way that I would see this more likely to succeed is with F1, I think we identified 7 or 8 events. We reached out to those 7 or 8 events and said, here is what we're doing. A few communities said, we're sorry, we don't have the ability to do this at our event. We don't have the space. And we said, hey, no worries. We offered it to another community. So not every community will be able to move on something like this, and we recognize that. We are asking, do you have space for us to do an Ninjago activation to enrich your event? And if you say, no, we don't have space, that's okay. I think the key thing about our support programs, or future ideated support programs that we're working on, is not every support program is for every community. And if we have a really amazing activate, so I'm going to go to Omaha here. Sorry, we have a really amazing activity in Nebraska, or we have a really amazing opportunity, and we want to do it in Nebraska. Well, I know we can't unless it is at their Omaha event or their Lincoln event in Q1 and Q4. So we obviously aren't going to come to them and go, hey, in Q3. We'd like to do this. They go, that's great that you want to do it, but we don't have an event happening there. So this is the way that you are already running events. This is the ability for us to enhance your event, for us to say, here is a new experience for you to run at your event. Here is this Ninjago experience. Here is this Minecraft experience. Here's this Lego house experience. And all we want are these banners pulled up and this QR code here. Have fun. And use this at any event that you want from now on. But what we do want is, if you're going to use it, we need this social post to happen, we need this social post to happen, and everything else is yours.
May I? This is Greg from Idaho Lug. So from the way you're describing this, it sounds like the best way we as communities can be eligible to participate in these types of things is just to keep our calendars up to date with all the events coming up so that you can see what is in our pipeline and target marketing campaigns that might work with the events that we have going on.
100%. If we know that you're doing, if we know that you're doing an event and you're going to get an estimated 4,000 kids or 4,000 families or whatever, and it's on this day, and we look and that is right in line with the campaign that we have, well, perfect. Hey, Idaho Lug, got an opportunity for you.
Hey,
so right now, I know that in 26, I'm not over marketing line support. This is 100%, not 100%, this is mostly owned by Pella. There are two that I will be doing for this. And I know that one of them is for May of next year. And I'll be reaching out next week to the 4, maybe 5 communities that I'll be activating for it.
In what way do we let you know the size of these events that are coming up? Is that based on our historical reports from previous years?
This is why we need a new platform, because you're right. We need to know a couple things. We need to know expected audience. We also need to know, is there availability for us to bring an experience there? So
those would be nice fields to add to the to our calendar entries. That may be something that you see rather than is published on the LAN.
I agree. Yeah, that we need something. So, but we also know that that LAN needs a little bit of a tech overhaul. So thank you, Greg. Appreciate you, man. And I think you had an Idaho friend here last night. Now you're here today. I really appreciate that.
Who's the next one? May I?
Go for it.
Hi, I'm Charlie from Hungary, Kockafest Lego Club. And I have a couple of questions. So if I understand it correctly, the adult marketing team will approach communities according to their already announced events for different marketing purposes, and we are not the ones who are offering our events to find marketing opportunities, right?
Correct. This is us coming to you saying we have an opportunity that we would like to elevate your event.
Well, can in this regard be an event more more preferred just by its location, or how? What? So you're mentioning that the metrics is not clear till now. How we'll count visitors, how we estimate visitors, etc. But like an event in a country where there are more developed Lego consuming can be more preferred than someone who is organizing a Lego event, even with a large number of visitors, for instance, in Hungary or Serbia.
You're right. Okay, no, you're fine. What you're talking about is bias. Yes, there will be bias. And it is an unfortunate side effect of, it's just a fact of life that bias exists. I could probably say that a lot of our campaigns will make sure that there's a community in the UK and Canada and the US and Germany and Japan and France and Spain, right? Those larger markets. I can also say that there's an entire support program that's not even mentioned up here. That's called Opportunities, where I'm bringing it to Latvia. I'm bringing it to communities and that we might not get to work with very often on a marketing aligned support program. So there will be times where we are told that, I think for the F1, one of the original things was we want a community that's within 50 miles of an F1 track. So that was it. We had to find communities within 50 miles of an F1 track. Okay, so there will be different times where there is bias as to which communities we can work with.
Yeah,
or
thank
which
you.
events or which activities.
Yeah, thank you. Another question is that you've mentioned that so there is no competition between recognized Lego communities, but it will be a key point to be adaptive, to be able to change and use those resources and possibilities offered by the marketing team. Someone has something to put in, like an event, a layout, something that a marketing community can be attached to, then it's absolutely an advantage for that community. My question is, will those marketing plan schedules shared with the communities, like they are shared with the online communities or the online content creators, to be slightly be able to plan ahead? Like, okay,
That's
hey,
so no, that's good. That's enough. I apologize to cut you off, but I understand what you're asking. If I had to guess, if I had to predict what's going to happen, then my prediction would be that in 2026, we enhance what we're doing. And by 2027, we are bringing in known event creators and saying, here is what our plans are for 28.
Mm-hmm.
The ability to, almost like fan media days for fan media, but that ability to say, imagine if we would have done this for 2024. And in 23, we came to you and said, next year is going to be all about space. We're going to have space in every single theme, period. We come to you in the middle of 24 and we say, hey, next year's all going to be about F1. So if you want to align your stuff, if you want to do stuff at races, you want to try and find race at track, whatever, then you could do that. That is definitely the ambition.
Hi.
It also takes trust building and kind of, we can't do it to everybody. I think that's the key thing, is we need to find a way that we can identify those communities that are thriving within the new program that have high trust within the new program, and we can start to bring them in on those things. Just
Thank
the
you.
same way we
My
do with
very
fan
last
media,
question here.
because fan media we don't even give the full portfolio to everybody in fan media. There's 30 of the 120 that are welcome to fan media days. So it is a percentage that we're trusting, that we're working with on 2026 portfolio.
Yes, but we can expect later on that some kind of schedule will be shared also by the recognized communities.
We sure hope
If
so.
not, yeah, thank you. My very last question here is that you've mentioned that this is a global initiative, so we cannot based on local offices and their attitude to the whole AFL community, because it is a global program, and I get it. But so when I have something on my event, it obviously changes its nature. I mean, every planned adult organized Lego event has some kind of marketing potential, even if it's not can be easily measured. But if I add something very consciously, very much aligned to a global marketing campaign, then it changes its nature. And sometimes the event vendors are recognizing it and say, hey, it's a marketing thing. We are not promoting Lego for free. We are not giving the event venue for free for you. This has happened with us sometimes here in Hungary, for instance, in festivals. So I'm not quite sure how we can just absolutely not involve the local offices, because I think sometimes they are needed for those cases.
Okay.
Hi.
Thank you.
First time on the call, Eric from RLUG and Bricomanie.
Hey, Eric.
You mentioned the big F1 push for this year, and that was one thing that I felt blindsided, frankly. We didn't hear anything about the F1 coming to the Carrefour Laval in Montreal around the F1 time, and I don't think our ambassador either heard about it ahead of time. And we had a planned Lego event this summer, and right next door to that, and it would have been great if we could have had some visibility at that event and or support from Lego Canada.
Not like or global or Canada or whatever. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, and one thing I fear about marketing alliance support is there will be a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas. I actually, with requested support, the next one as well. That is we'll talk about it in a few moments, but it is something that we're going to be nervous about, especially in requested support. There will likely be more rejected applications than successful applications. So there could be, not likely, there could be more rejected applications than successful applications. So there will be some challenges. Should we move on to requested support? Marketing alliance, is anybody, I don't know, are people excited about marketing alliance support? I guarantee every A&E is. I guarantee every almost A&E is.
I think Caleb Short here with NALUG. I think that the program needs to develop a little bit more clearly before I can get excited about this.
Yeah.
The questions I have, I'm not going to bother asking because I just need answers that you won't be able to provide. But being so out of the way, like our lug is so out of the way physically from anything that it's difficult for us to promote something, say around the F1 events. We are completely off the chart for stuff like that, which is fair. I see why the Lego group is going that way. I don't see us taking advantage of things like that.
What about what if it wasn't? What if it's, I don't know, what if it's in Ninjago? Are you going to get a couple thousand visitors at your event that can all get Ninjago in their hands?
Currently, our large events are, as Charlie mentioned, events that we may not be able to promote Lego marketing at. we have displays, but we may not be able to do marketing for that. Or our current event that NALUG hosts, which is Northern Bricks, but we don't get enough people yet to that event to make it on the chart.
Okay. Well, maybe there's some other opportunities. So let's talk about the next support program, because maybe that one's something that can help you out.
Absolutely.
All right. We're going to move to requested support. So a lot of you have recently seen the post on the LAN that second half year activity support is shipping. That will be the last activity support that you ever receive. So use it wisely. Use it however you want. Requested support is replacing activity support program. Activity support program, we currently package up a variety of products and ship them to you. We've been piloting this in 2025. I just approved another one just last week, where communities can pitch to us what they want and why. We can review that and we can approve it. We can review it, we can challenge it, you can enhance your brief, and we can approve it. We can review it and we can reject it. This is the ability to no longer receive unwanted stuff, but purposeful stuff. stuff. This is the ability for you to say, we have the Space Shuttle Discovery in Chantilly, Virginia. We would like 10 copies of the Space Shuttle, and here's what we're going to do with them. Over the next 10 weeks, we're going to do a live stream build at the Space Shuttle Discovery in real life. We read that and we say, approved. You reach out because there is a new architecture set. It is based in your city. There's a annual concert that gets 100,000 visitors, and you're gonna, I don't know, do something outside that stadium. Here's that set. It's the ability for you to tell us what you want, for you to brief us on what you need to enrich your community, and we will review them on a case-by-case basis and approve them. Cool. We have a lot of opinions on how this is going to go internally. My belief is that in 2026, we will likely reject a lot of these applications. It's about finding our footing. It's about learning how to write a brief. It's about ensuring that a community can fulfill their obligation, fulfill their whatever the word is. Obligation. We're going to go with obligation, but it's not that. But they fulfill their promise. There we go. So I would expect that we'll probably see a lot of applications get rejected in the beginning. People will be learning how to write briefs, learning how to pitch their ideas, learning how to take advantage of this support program. And I have a feeling that it would eventually level out. The great thing about this is we will require social posts and content. This will require that communities have an active social media presence in order to qualify for this support program. We will likely require that you do a minimum of 2 social media posts using a certain hashtag, maybe 1 leading up to it. I don't know. We're still working on this. This will be the one that we are going to continue to work on throughout. This is what we're going to spend every moment on until January 1st, is building out this support program. So that way we can launch it for you next year. And I'll stop talking.
Will this
Any
be
questions?
will this be sets only, and is it only public facing?
You have to say your name, John. It's John, right? Is it
John.
you?
John.
Hey, John.
DFW LUG.
So great question. The ones that we will be supporting are going to be people, communities, and activities that inspire and develop the builders of tomorrow. So yes, public facing is required. I do not currently foresee us providing requested support for meetings or internal activities. Because
So
when we look at two different applications, and this one is going to get bricks in the hands of children, products in the front of children, families, other adults, and this one is for a Christmas party, I'm gonna use the budget on the one that's gonna get bricks in the hands, experiences in the hands of children, families, and other adults. Our ambition is that this is a 3-part program. It will take time to get to the 3-part program, but we envision that it could be bricks, it could be sets, and it could be people.
So can it be IP related at all?
Maybe.
See, we have an event that we do with the city of Carrollton, and we have a large Star Wars display for May the 4th. And it's a complete Star Wars centered thing, and we're the Lego portion of that. And so we're working with the city of Carrollton right now to put together small generic Star Wars-ish little building sets that they're going to pay for the elements, and our LUG is going to assemble the individual, kits for passing out to the kids at the event.
You lost me at IP infringement, so no. We can't, especially IP infringement on one of our partners. But you had me until that. Maybe what your club needs instead is, oh man, you got me there, is one of every copy of the 2026 Star Wars portfolio. Okay, let's do it. You need 4 snow speeders and 3 AT-ATs so you can do this big scene that's going to be at your Star Wars thing. Cool, let's do it. But I can't help you. I can't help you hurt or partner with IP infringement. And I would encourage you to not hurt our partners with IP infringement.
Noted.
Stefan again. You just talked about the budget. Will there be a difference between what we call, and we've got RLOC tier 1 and tier 2? Because imagine our RLOC has got 20 ideas.
No, you're fine. I can talk about it. Well, you brought up, so you said RLUG. Tiers are going away.
Okay.
I didn't even say that in the first call. Tiers are going away, and online communities are going away. So I will touch on online communities first, just in case there are any ambassadors from a recognized online community. With this new program, whether you are a digital or physical community, you will be one and the same. That's it. Digital or physical communities, one and the same.
So will there be new requirements?
There will be, it's hard to say requirements. There will be requirements to get a brick on the map. There will be another set of requirements to qualify for support. And to qualify for support, as you can see from a lot of these programs, it needs to be doing events. It needs to be inspiring and developing the builders of tomorrow. There could be a community of 10 people doing something magical, and a community of 500 people doing nothing magical. We will be reviewing each application based on its merits to determine which ones receive the funding. It is likely the support, not funding, the support. It is likely that that there will be some sort of internal budget per region, not budget per community, because there will likely be communities that do not qualify for support programs. It requires a creative idea. It requires a successful brief. So the budget isn't necessarily for the community. The budget is likely going to be either for the entire program globally or regionally. My ambition is that we do it regionally. It allows me to say, we had 30 applications in the Nordics. We were able to support 10 of them with our budget. I would like a 35% budget increase for the Nordics next year, which will help us support even more of these events and activities. In the US, we used 80% of our budget and we approved every application, so we can actually decrease that budget. Okay, now for this area, I need a 35%, I need a 50% increase. So it'll take us a little while, I believe, to figure out what that is going to look like. The tier structure we had in the past was broken. We will now be targeting support to the communities that are doing events that inspire and develop the builders of tomorrow.
Sorry for
I recognize this is hard news for the online communities because there might not be events that you're doing, but the goal is not to get rid of online communities. The goal is a community recognition, the ability, and I look forward to working with more online communities to figure out what that could look like. So we'll figure it out.
Sorry for interrupting here. Just a quick question. So you're mentioning that online communities and offline communities are now in one tray. But regarding the proposed ideas for requested support, does that also mean that requested support must include a physical experience necessarily with the bricks, or can a mainly offline community offers an idea which requires their creativity, physical, but is recorded and mainly has a reach online?
No, it's going to be physical, not physical. Likely, I'd be interested in learning about a digital experience that a community can do that inspires and develops the builders of tomorrow. But for the most part, digital builds done by communities is about community building, and the new programs are more about building up a community's toolbox, building up a community's toolbox to host elevated events. When we give you, so I can give you some of the pilots that we've done this year, and I'm guessing there's some of you here. I can't see who's in the call, but there's people that have. I was inspired by Bugepladen in their week 7 event this year, and I've talked about it so much, but if you haven't heard my speech, I'll do it again. I went to this event week 7, and you walk in, and there are literally play brick circles. You can play right there. There's people sitting there. I think there were 2 or 3 of them. Good for you. Then there's mocks to look at. Then there's a place where you can check out Lego sets and cafeteria seating where you can go and build those. And there were hundreds of people just sitting there building them. And then they take them apart, put them back in the Tupperware, and they turn them in. And then you could go look at more mocks. And then you could go to this place where Vibke sat there building trees. And you could build a tree with her. And when you built the tree with her, it went on their giant mountain mock that they were their giant, humongous community build. You could build a tree for that. How amazing is it that I got to build a tree that went on the mock? I felt like I was part of that event. You could then go look at more mocks. You could then go to an entire area where all the mocks were hands-on, from claw machines to pinball machines to puzzles. You could then go look at more mocks. You could then go to an area where you drove. It was in a little enclosed space, and you could drive with the power functions, this little tractor, and push around the GBC balls. You could then go play the Where's Waldo thing, right? The I Spy with Mile Eye. Can you find Spider-Man? Can you find Santa Claus? Can you find the reindeer? There was then a 3D printer. You could go buy a brick with your name on it or whatever you want to print it on it. That event, I believe, got a little less than 4,000 people at it over the 2 days. And I have never walked away more inspired from an event. That is an event that I hope we can elevate. That we can say, Boogapod, you're doing amazing stuff. You're getting 4,000 kids in the door. We would like to bring another experience to your event. Here's F1. Here's a car ramp and F1 stuff. And we just hope that you just put up these banners. That's what our new support program is here to celebrate. It's those events that are doing something magical, where we're bringing the cherry on top. That event that is not possible because you need you need 3 AT-ATs, which is just not something your community will ever be able to do. Well, great news. Let's make it happen. Because you're going to get 10,000 people that are going to see it over the course of the weekend, and you're going to have a hands-on activity there as well. Approved. Cool. I'm done talking. Any questions?
I have a question.
We still have
Mark
curated
Richards.
support packages, so just let me know when you're ready for us to move on to that one.
Hi, it's Mark Richards from RLUG. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Hey, Mark.
Hi. So it sounds to me like this requested support, the basically functions like project support, except it's primarily focused on sets at first. Like it seems very similar.
Yep.
So okay, if I understand correctly, if we had a really good use case for, like you said, every Star Wars set or like several of, like AT-ATs or whatever, we would request that, we would put it into our display, we would have an activity or something about it, and then afterwards the activity support, the requested support stuff belongs to the club in the usual way. So this isn't an opportunity to have like make and take activities or anything like that. Or is it
make and take? But I think make and take might fall under the next one, but maybe this is make and take.
Okay.
Maybe it's make and it's not limited.
So
but I would see the
you
make and
said,
take falling under the next one. I think the key thing that you said there, though, is that the resources are then owned by the. You didn't say owned. You I don't know if you used creative wording there, but you kind of suggested that it's owned by the club after that. I would say that our goal with our support programs, as you can hopefully see here, is that you build up the tools to run thriving events. I think that there are a lot of clubs that likely need help understanding how to get free storage. that
Yeah, that's
there
impossible here.
there are no we can move past that. The impossible, we can move past it because there are clubs that are doing it. Whether that is that you get storage in a church basement, that you get storage at a library, and you commit to doing certain things for that library in order to get their free storage. There are ways that communities are doing this, but one of the challenges that we see with these new support offerings is that we hope that we're not enriching your club for one event. Our goal is that we are helping enrich your club for future events as well. Because to send you 2x2 bricks every year so you can do a mosaic is insane. To send you 2x2 bricks this year and go, cool, done, keep that. Now this year we're going to send you wheels and tires and stuff to make cars. Keep that. And now this year we're going to do this, this, and this. But if each year a club starts from scratch, then I question whether or not we should support that club.
Makes sense. I maybe going back to one of my earlier points, is this program, the requested support, you said it's going to have brick in it. Does that basically mean that the community support, the project support, and this other requested support would be the same thing?
Yeah.
Like what would be the difference?
The difference, I don't know.
I could see some really good use cases for like a combined project where like you want to build a really large, say, Battle of Hoth, right? And you need piles of white bricks to make your landscaping and maybe some mills plates to hold that landscaping and also a bunch of sets to fill it up. And then you make a really big display that really wows everybody who comes by. And also all of the ships in that display are purchasable at the Lego store down the road. So
yeah. Way to get Mills in there again, buddy. Everybody give Mark a high five.
I wanted to reinforce the notion that sometimes the project support is needed for the invisible parts because like RLUG has our tower apartment display and every apartment is contributed by a member, but the towers, the boring part, those are not contributed by members. And so the club needed to come together to find a way to make that happen. And that's where the project support angle would have been key for that project because it's not like, there's a lot of like cool parts that come from individual members. Many of us have large collections, but the boring parts sometimes are too much for one person to take on.
Oh yeah, no, I understand. But no, we've done a lot of these requested support things this year. We look forward to enhancing it in 26. Whether we've sent out trains and train track and base plates to communities. I think I just sent out a whole bunch of flowers to a community. Or botanical sets. I think I did motors to the community. We're doing things. We're piloting this. And we're going to continue to enhance that in 26. And by enhance it, we are very excited about your applications and about making your dreams come true.
Yeah, so my name's Doug. And I'm from Parliament in Ottawa, in Canada. And I mean, I understand, I can see here it's piloted 2025, enhanced. So you're actively working on it. You don't have every detail ironed out at this point. I remember that you said bricks, sets, and then people. And so I'm not sure, how is he going to send someone out? Or I'm not sure what you meant by that, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you apply to have a person be there. Like maybe you want a designer.
Okay, interesting.
Like people, person. You're like, everyone's like, I want Keld, I want Thomas. So we'll figure it out though. I think that we are going to start with sets. Should be our focus. Sets should be how we start. Things on Lego.com should be how we start. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to curated support packages. Curated support packages, the reason I haven't cared so much to bring it up until now is simply because it needs a lot of work. So our ambition is that we finish requested support this year, figure it out, launch it. And next year, we're spending energy on curated support packages, as well as investigating other individual brick support opportunities, whatever that might look like. Curated support packages would be where you, the recognized community, and us, the Lego group, sit down and say, what kind of boxes, what kind of, K8 is this big box, what kind of K8 boxes would be really valuable for your community? Now, I don't know what what it's going to work out to be, but this is our goal, right? Is we sit there and as a group, we say, okay, what could be cool is a box for 2x2 bricks so we can do large scale mosaics at our events. We go, okay, noted. Second box is a box of poly bags that can be used as giveaways for kids that come to your events. Not your members, kids that come to your events, families that come to your events. And then maybe the third one, whatever it is. Third one is a dot box. I don't know. So we have these, maybe we come up with 5 ideas for boxes. We put them on the land and you crowdfund them. Maybe you select one of these 2 and select one of these 3. Maybe there's some motor ones. Maybe there's some car wheel, whatever things. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's just a box of 2x4 bricks. We then crowdfund them. We figure out which one gets the most votes from the most communities, because I think that matters. It's the most communities, not necessarily the most, like, I would buy 5 or we would buy 1. I think it's the most communities that could benefit from it. We'll figure that out. And then we package those up and they're for sale at a discount in order to support your community. Or maybe we package them up and they're free. I don't know. But these are co-created, curated boxes that support your community. So because we're so far away from making that one happen, that we know that that is just something we're working on in 2026. Let me see what the last slide is. It went away. Boop. Come on. There it goes. Survey will be shared after the second session later today. That's a lie. I'm going to share it tomorrow. I'm going to share it tomorrow at the same time I share the recording. You are welcome to share the recording with your leadership team. We ask that you do not share it with the members. Or maybe you can share this presentation with the team, but we ask that you don't share it with the members. I don't know how valuable going through 2-hour-long calls is going to be for your leadership team. It seems pretty stinking boring to me. Maybe give them the highlight reel. 1 survey per community. Work with your leadership team to figure out how you want to answer that survey. And I believe I'll be giving a PDF of what the questions in the survey are, so that way you can prepare with your leadership team before you go in there and have to answer it. It is not a rush. Take your time, get the feedback, share your community's voice. Let's see, you can share the vision. Oh, I already covered that. All right, questions. I'm going to stop presenting my screen.
Hey, this is Jennifer from TNVLC.
Hey, Jennifer.
Hey, so I just want to clarify, because I feel like it's between the lines in all of this, but my LUG members will definitely ask. The events we're talking about, the public-facing events that we're applying for things for, these are our traditionally reportable events, and not things like all of the AFOL conventions and stuff, because of course those are super popular here in the US and we have a lot of them going on. But we're talking about like the club, the LUG created events, or where we're the only LUG presence, not Brick Universe, Brick Lego, whatever they're all called these days.
Yeah, it's an interesting question, right? I think it has the potential to be both.
Okay.
I think it has the potential to be both. I think what we're going to want to, so when it comes to marketing support, we wouldn't work with TNLVC to do something at Brick Fair, Virginia. That'd be weird. So, and then my next question then would be, well, then could you use requested support there? I would say that you likely should have used it somewhere else first, but it should live on, and then maybe your Star Wars thing, or then maybe your everybody gets to build a mosaic thing or whatever, it can then go to those types of events. But I would say, yeah, I think this is more about the only club at an event type activities, or maybe there's two clubs at an event type activities, not necessarily the A&E. The A&E is likely going to benefit from your project support and benefit from your lug bulk and not from your marketing support, requested support, and curated support. Did that answer it?
Yeah, that says my impression is generally correct. It's something I need to communicate to our LUG members because we have a lot of people who primarily go to conventions, and they're going to need to understand that to apply for support going forward, they're going to need to invest in more events that the LUG is hosting and where we're the only LUG presence, as opposed to like, because our sister chapter in Nashville is awash in AFOL conventions, it's very easy for them to just go to those. Whereas here in Huntsville's chapter, we have to create our own events because less stuff comes to us like that.
Yeah. And it's, I think Edwin was on the call this morning and he talked about the fact that they went to one Comic-Con and handed out flyers, and then the next Comic-Con they did an experience at. Now, one I could see not supporting, and then one I could say, yeah, that's approved. You're the only club at this Comic-Con and you're going to do this. Now, that was actually really amazing to hear because most Comic-Cons I can't see actually supporting. Because if it's not bricks in hand experience, no one will ever remember the fact that the Lego AFOL community was there. They're going to remember that Robert Downey Jr. was there. So it's also about making sure that you're creating an experience, bricks in hand, and it's not about getting 100,000 kids there. Local areas. You're the boots on the ground that can do something that we might never be able to do. We want to help enrich your events.
Hey Jordan, I just want to add something to that. It's Mike from RLUG. I'm the president of RLUG. Mark's our ambassador. We were at Fan Expo this year, so like a huge Comic-Con. Well, I agree with what you said. We also did have a big play brick area, and we had a hands-on mosaic building activity with our Lego display as well. So we were both there displaying, and we had hands-on activities, which we try to do at all our events. So just to keep that in mind when referencing like a huge Comic-Con, right? It is possible to have both.
I'm back and forth. I don't know. I think if I go to a county fair, if I go to a county fair and I run across a Lego experience there, I'm going to remember it. If I go to a Comic-Con where every single thing is amazing, I don't know if I actually remember it. I think if we're spending our resources or funding, I say there's nothing wrong. Keep going to the Comic-Con. We hope that you don't stop doing things you love simply because we don't approve it for support. Again, our goal is to be the cherry on top, the magic, the little bit of sprinkle dust, whatever. But we hope that you're going to do what you want to do. And if you don't want to do events, that's fine. A community should be comfortable enough in itself to say, well, I guess we're not going to qualify for marketing support because we're not doing those things. Cool, that's fine. You don't have to. I think there's going to be, like I said earlier, there will be clubs getting less support. They should be comfortable with that. Everybody, for the most part, was here before support was. And yet, a change in support is the scariest thing. No, it's not. You were here before us. You're stronger than the support programs. You will, if you have people that quit your program, well, we hope it doesn't happen. But I guess it might.
This is Jennifer again. And Jordan, I did want to, Paxton, I did wanted to add to that, that many years ago, TNVLC got a marketed support package of Minecraft. And the agreement was that we were using it at a public event where kids would build Minecraft modules, and we put it together and made a big display out of their builds. We're still using it. It's been almost a decade, I think. And we still do kids building sessions with it. We just did one last weekend at the public library. We had 5 kids building sessions during the course of the day. Every single one was full to capacity. So like, that's when you talk about, you know, enriching your club for the long term, that Minecraft is still inspiring our young builders and doing what Lego hoped it would do. And we're still getting a lot of benefit out of that. So I do like the opportunity there to continue to do those kinds of things and build the club's resources to continue to do that kind of programming.
Thank you. I'm not calling on anybody. So, yeah, go for it.
Lauren from RLUG. I see now that we are really embracing the building of the builders of tomorrow and everything like that, which involves minors, whereas in the past it's kind of been like, don't take pictures of minors and post them on the LAN and stuff like that. At least that was my understanding coming into it. That's what our former ambassador. So I guess, how are we getting ideas across with photos and such like that when, I mean, I know our group, we do a lot with children. I personally run, like, have almost the past 10 years ran a Lego group at my son's now old elementary school that we do use some of the LUG stuff that we use for brick days as well with. So I guess, how do we promote that if we're not supposed to? And then I guess also kind of rolls into, are we allowed to have more T-falls in our LUGs and stuff like that? Is Lego really trying to bring T-falls in as well?
Okay, I can answer. So one thing that's good about changing of the guard is we start to realize how crazy some of these rules were. The fact that, like, we discouraged you from having kids and teens in your club, that will never make sense to me. How do you, it's like only hanging out in an old folks home and wondering why there's nobody left. Like, like, come on, like we should be open arms and bringing people in. So if you want a T-fall program within your club, have one. If you want a kid program within your club, have one. Go crazy. How do you share? Yeah, we don't want pictures of kids on the LAN, but we do have an ambition of having those 2 wikis. And I believe that we as a group are going to build a beautiful toolbox of events and activities to enrich your community's events. That's our term. Activities to enrich. Once Boogapladen can put their different events in there and say, we have a train table where kids race trains and crash trains, and here's how we do it, and here's how you can do it. Beautiful. But let's curate that activity guide that everybody can benefit from. I don't know. Lauren, how do you feel about that?
No, I'm fine with that. And I have shared some things on the LAN when asked, like, what do you do for school clubs with children? And I block their faces out and stuff like that. I guess the separate one that I do through the school, I am in the United States. The school has they have to sign off if pictures are allowed and stuff like that for things like this. And I always ask before I do that portion, are any of the children on the no picture list? Because
yeah,
I'll
I
work
like
around
that.
them.
I was at one event. I don't remember what it was, but there was an event where when you entered, if you didn't want your kid in a photo, they got a really cool lanyard. And everybody knew the kids with the really cool lanyards could never be in a picture. So there's ways of doing these things, which is why I am such a big fan of a wiki where we can take these unique learnings and enrich everybody. I am going to set a hard stop at 9 minutes from now, so 1/4 past, because I'm hungry.
Hey, this is John from Buffalo.
Hey, John.
Quick question: are we going to have any relationship with the local Lego stores? Can we collaborate with them? Is there going to be any room for that?
Great question. We as a global team have attempted to form local store relationships over the years through different programs and stuff. They're not always successful. It is better to do it on a local level. The problem that a lot of AFOL communities will have, that every member of their community will go in there and try and start a relationship. It will flood them to the point where it's too much. Where I would recommend a calmer approach. I am the representative. Here is who I am. If any of my members come and ask questions, what I would appreciate is that you let them know that you have a relationship with us and that you can come to me. And I will take those questions and concerns to the local Lego store. And I will help us build experiences at the local Lego store. But when every day a different AFOL from Buffalo is at the store being like, so when are you going to let us get a display in here? It's like, goodness, you're stabbing us all in the back. Calm down. And that, I think, is a real learning from local stores, is that local store has so many things that they need to do. You need to make it simple.
So are they going to be directed that we can? I mean,
Nope.
currently
I'm global. We don't currently run a local store program. There are people on this call that whenever we do a store opening, really sorry if New England representatives are on the call. Sorry, the store opening kind of fell through 2 weeks ago. But from new store openings, a lot of people here, some people here, have helped open a store. And when a store opens in the US now, we actually have local representation. And we recently did it in Spain as well. So very excited that we are, when a new store opens, that we are helping form that bond in the beginning. If anybody here is from the Delaware region, I'm currently in talks with the Delaware store manager on how they can do it. It helps if the store is open and the store is looking for it. You can make them aware that we exist. You can make them aware that they can contact me on best practices of how to work with the local AFOL community. But the club needs to be very careful about flooding them. Miguel, Angel, Puido, your hand must be
Hi,
tired.
Jordan.
It's been up for a long time.
Hi. Okay, first of all, thank you for sharing this with us. This is a huge improvement of the program, in my humble point of view, because I think it's the best way to use the resources and to deliver them to all the communities based on what really creates these experiences on the visitors. Maybe not all our events qualify for this kind of support because we do several kinds of actions, but this is more focused to the big events, those ones where we gather thousands of visitors, where they can exchange their opinion or their creativity with us. They can share their constructions in our building piles. And another thing that I want to mention is something that Jennifer told a few minutes ago about Minecraft. We received a huge Minecraft box like 6 years ago, and we are using it every single time that we run a workshop. This is huge as an initiative. This is something that has reached thousands of kids all around, and this should be encouraged. And we will support you if you want to create some other opportunities like this, because it's very related to what people do when they come to our events. And the third thing I wanted to mention is that we already have a very effective collaboration with the local office here in Spain, and it's based mostly on the same that you are mentioning. That's, are you interested in collaborating with us in this action? We are running a Ninjago, Minecraft, whatever action. Are you interested? Formula One is coming to Spain. Do you want to do something with Formula One? We are launching Formula One sets. And if you say yes, you're in. And if you're in, you are receiving support and you are doing something different that what you used to do, and you create new opportunities. And this is, I think this is going to improve the way that we approach to our visitors. And so thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, I appreciate it. For some reason, you made me think of something else, though. And that is library events. So don't ask me why you made me think library events, but I know a lot of communities, and Lauren, you talked about school events, so maybe I should have thought about it back then. But a lot of our programs are for the events that have thousands. I think that the curated support package might be those opportunities where we could do a library box where you get those bricks, you get those 2x4 bricks, you get that thing that you can bring to libraries and run workshops. I don't know why Miguel made me think of that, but he did. But no one's mentioned the 2x4 bricks. That was my project. I did not have anything to do with Minecraft, but if you want to like throw some love about the 90th anniversary, you can say some positive stuff.
I will do that.
We use ours at Brick Days.
Thank you.
We use our 2x4 bricks almost every meeting.
Oh, I don't know.
We're using them at a big event this weekend. We're going to use the 90th event stuff this weekend.
Nice. I don't mean to call you a kid, but you look a lot younger than I do. And there was a kid with his hand raised and he disappeared, and I don't know who he was, but I want to hear his voice. Here's question.
I suppose that might have been me.
Or maybe me. Hey, it's Adrian. Yes, it was you. Sorry for calling you a
Adrian
kid. What's
from
up, Adrian?
DFW LUG. I just wanted to clarify because I wasn't 100% sure on the logistics of the curated support program. I know it's alternative right now, but you were saying something like the LUGs would pitch the idea to the LAN, and then it would be discussed on the LAN, and then LEGO would take the ideas that are popular and getting refined, and then look at sending those to LUGs. Something like that?
Yeah, kind of like lazy Lego ideas. Like we as ambassadors figure out what a good curated box could look like for 2027. And then maybe we find 3 of those boxes, and you from DFW goes, ooh, 2 of these boxes interest us. If you go with these, we'd buy 6 of this box, and we'd buy 2 of this box. So we really hope that you choose to fund these ones. It's kind of how I envision it. And then my goal is to make as many support programs for you as possible, because no one club should likely qualify for every support program. I want to make sure that there is a support program that is available for every community type.
Sounds great.
And maybe there's some that qualify for everyone. Cool, go for it. But I don't think that'll be the majority. And I think we need to be comfortable with that. I said my time was going to be up at the quarter. Fine, you got me till the half now.
Jordan, it's Bri from Springfield, Missouri, USA. What sort of reasonable expectation should we have for lead time for these sorts of things? Like, I know sometimes I put in, reports and they sit out there for a quarter or sometimes, we tend to fly by the seat of our pants. So
I've never read a report that's submitted. So I'm very interested in getting rid of those or changing those because I don't like them. So I'm sorry that you submit reports, but I'm working to change it. Also sorry to share the news that I've never read one. So that's probably quite surprising to a lot of people. But of all the roles and responsibilities that we have, that's a tough one. Lead time. The LUG that reached out last week got approved last week. We shipped this week. That was a requested support. Is there a community here that successfully piloted a requested support? No? Ouch, that hurts a little bit.
This is Lauren from RLUG. Are we considering the train? Am I
Yours
allowed
was,
to talk
yes.
about that?
Yours 100% was.
So we were given some trains, and we did use it at our local fair here recently, but our plan is definitely to use it at all the Brick Days. But our next Brick Days will be in Lincoln and in November, and we will definitely we're calling it Railroad Tycoon train area for kids to drive the trains and build caves and tunnels and whatever they want with it. And I mean, we'll use it, obviously we're going to use it at every Brick Days from here on out until it dies. I mean, we have a lot of our stuff that we kind of cycle out at different events and stuff like that. So if we end up doing a train show with like a local train group, we might end up taking it to that, or something else within our community that might be smaller that we think that children would enjoy driving trains. We will take it to that as well.
And yeah, I like the train thing. It's a unique thing, and it changed. It was just the energy you get when the kids finally get to drive a train. It's so different than staring at the trains. But we also don't want them driving our trains because it's going to want to break my train. So why not drive one of these community trains? Because now all of a sudden I don't care.
Yeah, it's Sean here from RLUG. Our train is being built. It is going to be on display in about a month at our big Halloween event. And yeah, I've never actually I had 70s trains in my house, but my kids have never had a powered train before. And I am astounded at, just getting the control in their hands. And it's instead of being the kids that are at the Lego events where my friends have made very fancy trains that they're not allowed to drive. It's magical just to see how into it they are. And I think we're going to recruit a bunch of new train LUG members. Anyway, I'm excited to have that opportunity. So
I think the issue that I have is I got so jacked up when I went to Boogapladen that I just keep talking about trains, and everyone's like, all right, we'll do trains. But right now I would say that we have done enough pilots this year that we will now probably pilot data. And I don't think I'll be approving, maybe if you tell me a really good story, I can approve another pilot project. But for the most part, I think I'm moving on to getting ready for 26 at this point. Also, I need the activity support to process, so I know how much budget I have left to continue to spend on stuff. So,
Jordan, excuse me. From when to when was this request? Stefan here.
What's the request?
No, the project that some logs have participated with the
How
trains.
did they
From
get to
when when was
participate
that?
in the pilot?
Yeah,
I get that. They participated in the pilot likely because they're connected to the RLUG, RLOC reimagining group. They have been input givers into the future program for the last 6 months.
Okay, it was not open to all logs.
No.
Okay, thanks.
Hey Jordan,
Hey, Jordan.
this is Taro from Panama, Latin America.
Hey.
Yeah, hi. Quick question. What would be the expectations for Latin America with the new program?
Have fun.
No, we're having fun.
Do events, submit an
Yeah,
application.
but I mean, for example, there are countries like ours that we only have one look, and we only have our own projects, our own events and everything. Does that affect somehow any of the programs? And I know this is the same reality for Costa Rica and other stuff.
You're fine. Is your event for community members? Or like where you're getting together and just discussing the passion, sharing the joy? Or is your event
We
to
we do a Brickfest event once a year. It's around maybe between 4,000 and 6,000 people going there. So that will apply for everything that is coming on, right?
I don't want to say that it'll apply for everything that's coming out, but I will say that you can fill out an application with a brief as to why you should receive support for that event and what you would do with it, and it would be reviewed.
So no restriction for Latin America at all. Okay.
I don't know. I don't have fun.
All right. Sounds good.
Hey, Jordan, it's Krista, Steel City Lug.
Hey, Krista.
I have two questions
there
for
you
you.
are, right there. Go for it.
So my first question is, do you foresee any possible partnerships moving forward for groups that already kind of do things with kids, like the Six Bricks program and like Brick Club kind of thing, where the lugs can actually kind of participate and kind of help get those programs started, maybe in schools or in communities?
It seems like a curated support box, right? Like where you say, we need Six Brick, we need the stuff to run Six Bricks activities.
Right.
So, but yeah, it seems like a potential. See, now you're all going to start getting me to commit to things. I have to remember, I am just one person on this team and we're still in ideation mode. And the rest of 25 will be spent on building out that requested support program. So
okay, I like that the opportunity could be there. The other question I have, and this might actually be a great parting question for you, for those who may be hesitant or reluctant in our lugs, because we do have a large number of introverts in our lug, what parting words would you give to them to kind of get them excited about this? I'm a communications major, so I have my own little hype speech going in my head right now. I was wondering if you had any wonderful parting words for our members to get them hyped up.
It's interesting. It's one side effect. So when I joined in 2018, one of the downsides that I had was to clean up the program. And there were a lot of clubs here that were not clubs. There were a lot of clubs that were individuals. And I was tasked with offboarding them. Everybody probably knows that I was like the axe man for like 3 years, where we got rid of a lot of communities. And it hurt to offboard a lot of those clubs. And I've ran across so many of them now over the last few years that are extremely grateful that they're not in our program anymore, because their community returned to balance. That support broke them, that rules and reports and it wasn't pure anymore. They joined the fandom to enjoy it. We got involved and we broke them. I guess that my thing with this reimagined program is I really hope that we can not do stuff that we don't want to do, that we can be comfortable not doing events if we don't want to do events, that we can celebrate that we're just a brick on the map and we're happy with being just a brick on the map, and that maybe that gets us a few members every year. Maybe that gets us a few likes on our Facebook page. And that's fine, because at least the drama is over. The fighting that happens every time activity support arrives, and the jealousy about why did Bob get this and I got this, and I supported an event and I didn't get anything for free, and the pain that I think we have caused through our support programs to the leadership teams. I hope that is reduced. But I think that if we look at the fandom overall and we remember what Tormal started with and we see where we are today, there are more rewards available today, but we don't call them rewards. 18 plus was not here. And I'm sorry, that is a reward that is available. Lego Insiders was not here. Some of us used to have that little flip open card where you get the little stamps. But now we have Insiders. That is a reward for being an AFOL. Pick a brick wall. The ability to curate the pick a brick wall. The minifigs, the build a mini. The codes on the series minifigures to be able to see what's inside. These are actually rewards of being an AFOL, but we don't call them rewards. We forget about them, and we think that the only rewards are the free stuff that the land sends you. Being an AFOL today is truly a magical thing. We're living in the best Lego AFOL time, but we forget and we take advantage and we forget what it used to be like. So I am very excited about this. I know that it'll make some people sad, this new program. But for those that have worked with me on an opportunity, they're magical. And I think we'll be able to do even more opportunities, because everything we're going to do now will be mutually beneficial. It'll be driving data that we can use to increase budgets in terms that marketing understands. It will be more AFOLs in production. It'll be more AFOLs doing builds for internal purposes. I don't know if people know everything we did for Nike this year. We had AFOLs at Nike's summer party. that were running a Lego booth. We had AFOLs that built everything for the World Cup for women in Switzerland. We had production throughout the US where AFOLs supported famous YouTubers in making sure that their builds were prepared, made it look like the YouTubers built it, but no, it was all the AFOLs doing amazing creative things behind the scenes. And then we had 140 educational sessions in London that AFOLs ran. That was all just Nike this year. These are opportunities and experiences that never existed before 2021 when I started launching these things. And I know that as long as I'm here and our team is here and Alfie is here and we're growing, that even more opportunities will be here for you now and will far exceed Alfie and I's time here at the Lego Group. That's a lot of words. Okay, Krista, how about it's gonna be okay?
I'll take that. Thanks, Jordan.
With that, we'll wrap up. I am going to comment on the land, and then I'm going to walk home. Please do not post. I'm going to take today or tonight, whatever it is for you, to relax, to digest. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to share the recordings and the survey. And do not take that survey within the first hour of me posting it. Relax and digest it. And then share your community's voice. Thank you so much for today. I will see some of you at Scareback Fan Weekend, where we will have round 2. And maybe that's when we'll go over the survey results. And then I'll share them with you here. But we will be discussing this for the rest of the year, so that way on January 1st, these new programs can start to launch and support you in a new magical way. All right,
Awesome.
that's it.
Sounds good.
Have a great
Thank
day,
you.
everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Jordan.
Welcome. That was
Thanks, Jordan.
Yeah.